Hi boys and girls. Today we're going to talk about multiplying fractions. Multiplying fractions is actually quite easy, but it's a totally different process than adding or subtracting. The reason is because when we multiply fractions, we multiply the numerators together, but we also do the same operation and multiply the denominators together. So when we add and subtract fractions, we usually leave those denominators alone and just work with the numerators. But when we multiply, we actually multiply the numerators and the denominators together. So what that looks like is, if you take this fraction 1/2 times 4/8, you're going to multiply the numerators together, which is 1 times 4, and you're going to multiply the denominators together, which is 2 times 8. I want to point out that the word of means multiply. So when you hear fractions and the word of together, it means to multiply them. So here's my example that I have for you. I have a pizza here, and I'm going to dish up 4/8 of this pizza onto my plate. So the orange parts that are shaded in represent how much pizza I'm going to put on my plate. I'm planning on eating that much pizza. We know that 4/8 is also 1/2. But this pizza has been cut into eighths, and I'm going to serve up 4/8 of it onto my plate. But let's say out of those 4/8, I only ate half of what was on my plate. So I ate half of my 4/8. Well, you can see the quantity here, and if we did this, I think you could easily see that this is 1/4 of the whole pizza. But let's do the math and see if we come up with 1/4. So 1/2 of 4/8, 1/2 of the 4/8 that I put on my plate to eat is going to equal 1 times 4 is 4, and 2 times 8 is 16. Well, 4/16 can be reduced because 4 goes into 16 4 times. So 16 divided by 4 is 4, and 4 divided by 1 is 1. So in fact, 1/2 times 4/8 equals 1/4, which is exactly what I showed you here. Another way of breaking down the problem is actually rewriting it as two different multiplication problems. So if we take this problem right here, 2/3 times 3/5, and we rewrite it like this, we're creating an extra step, but we're making more sense of it. We're saying 2 times 3 and 3 times 5. Well, 2 times 3 is 6, and 3 times 5 is 15. And of course, 6 and 15 are both divisible by 3, so we can reduce this. So 6 divided by 3 is 2, and 5 divided by 3 is 5. That's a lot of work to show, so I'm going to circle my answer so there's no confusion. I'm going to do the same thing here. 2 times 1 I'm going to rewrite as my numerator, and 5 times 4 as my denominator. 2 times 1 is 2, and 5 times 4 is 20. And of course, this can be reduced down to 1/10. I'm going to do one more for you. I'll do 1/4 times 2/7. And this time I'm going to skip this middle step, because if you feel comfortable skipping that middle step, you can go ahead and do that. So 1 times 2 is 2, and 4 times 7 is 28. And I know that 28 is divisible by 2. In fact, 2 goes into 28 14 times. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 28 divided by 2 is 14. So my answer here is 1/14. So you can see that I took this middle step out, which is just fine with me, but if you need this step to help you break this problem down into simpler terms, you can feel free to do that. For your practice, I would like you to solve 2/3 times 3/4 and 2/5 times 2/5. Another way of saying this is 2/3 of 3/4 and 2/5 of 2/5. What I want you to do is make sure that you reduce, and one of these is going to need to be reduced down to simplest terms. One of them does not.